Good day. Today we're going to be discussing the new Sharetrackin chart, where I'm going to show you each and every tool that you can use in the new charts and where everything is. So first of all, when you open the AM chart, you'll find that it will open on the last chart basically that you opened on. So for instance, the last one that I opened on was J203. So all your information for the share or the indice or the ETF or the Satrix fund that you're looking at will display in the top left hand corner. So in this case, J203 with the opening price, the highest price, the lowest price, and then the close. So then on the left hand side, you'll see you've got settings. So if I click on settings, you can change your theme from light to dark. So if I click on that little slider and apply, it's going to apply it and it's going to change it to a dark theme. And if I go back there, if you don't really like the dark theme, you can always go back and then change it back to the light theme, apply, and that will change it to a light theme. Next, you'll find the company information. So if I change, before we go there, if I change the share now, obviously for J203, I'm not going to find company information, but if I go to equities, top left hand corner, and then you'll see that you can scroll through all the shares that's available to trade on the JSE. So if I go and I type in a share code, so top left hand side, you click there where it says search, and if I say SSW for instance and click on SSW or in Sabanya, then it's going to change it to the share that I selected. Okay, now if I go to the icon, so there's the icon, company information, it's going to pull up the company information. Alright, so share code, SSW, postal address, company full name, postal code, telephone number, industry. So that will give the company the current company's information that you are currently looking at. Alright, and some and nature of business, what the company is about. Alright. Next, you'll find the directors' dealings. So if you go to directors' dealings, that will give you the updated list of the directors' dealings, showing you what the directors are currently doing. Are they buying? Are they selling? Are they taking options? Next is your dividend history, showing you the history of the dividends, right? Showing you what the current dividend is. So the latest dividend, when the payout date is for the latest dividend, the declaration date, obviously, so it's financial year in date, declaration date, dividend amount, so the amount they're paying out per share, the dividend number, the last date to register, and then the payout date, and then if it's an interim or a final or even a special. Okay. Then your financial results. So some shares you'll see if you go to your financial results, some of them won't be updated, but some of them will be updated. All right. So this one, for instance, financial results for 2022 for Sabanya is available with their balance sheet and also then their cash flow. Next is then your market news. So market news is also updated. So this will pull in the market news, and this will pull in the top 10 latest market news for the share that you are looking at. So if you want to read the news, just click on the plus icon, and that will open the news for that bulletin. If you want to close it, just click on the minus and it will close it. And then below that is your watch list management. So if you click on watch list management, that will open your watch list. So you've got 5 watch lists to work with. So only 5, there isn't any more. You just have 5 to work with. So if I want to add a share onto, let's say, watch list 1, I go select a share. Let's say APSA, and then click on the mark, and then that will add it onto my watch list. I can even go as far as naming my watch list. Let's say to my list. All right, my list, and then when I close, right at the top, you'll see that there is another winning shares list. So if I click on there, over there, there's watch list. Okay, that will change to my list. That's the one I named, my list, and we'll have the share that you're looking at. So if I click on that share, it should change it to the share that I am looking at. All right, or the share that I added onto my watch list. If you want to remove a share, you can go back to your watch list and you can click on the remove. So dustbin, click on dustbin. That will notify you that it's been removed. When I close it, go back to watch list, then it will update. You'll see my list is empty. So as I said, you can find your equities, top left hand corner. Just type in your code and then click on a share, or if your code is available, or if you want to scroll, you can just scroll and select your share. But if it's obviously at the top, just click on a share and it's going to change it to that chart. You can also pull in the indices. So this is also the indice list. So if you want to change it, let's say from ABG to the J200 or J203. So let's say for instance J200. So there's South African top 40. Click on it and it will change it to that chart. All right. Or J203, the all share index, that will change it to that chart. Okay. We've also got ETF charting now, where previously we didn't have ETF charting. So now you'll be able to pull in your favorite ETFs, your exchange traded funds. You'll be able to do the charting for that now. Where previously it was not available, now you'll be able to pull them in. So if I want, let's say, ASB, click on ASB, that will give you the charting for ASB. Same with Satrix. If I go to Satrix, you'll see you've got your Satrix ETFs in between your normal Satrix. So all your Satrix codes will be available, the ETFs and the normal ones. So if I want to look at, let's say, the STX40, I can click on the STX40 and that will change it. So if I choose any one of these, it's going to change it to that chart. Okay. Commodities, same. If you want to look at your Brent crude oil pricing, gold pricing, your palladium, platinum, or silver. So let's say I want to see the gold. Click on gold, and that should change your chart then to your gold charting. Okay, so if then I can obviously zoom out of it, and I'll be able to read the latest data for that commodity. Winning shares list, same. So the winning shares list that's on the software will also be available on the charting now. So if I click on, let's say, BVT, same thing, it's going to change on the chart. So any place that you see a code, right, you just click on the code and it's going to change the chart for you. All right, so the idea goes straight from equities all the way through to winning shares list. Okay, and obviously your watch list, if you want to add shares to your watch list, you need to go to the icon on the left hand side, the last one, and add it to your watch list. Okay. Comparisons, you can also do comparisons now. So let's say, for instance, I want to do a comparison between, let's say, DRD Gold, and then on top of then I select on my comparison, I say I want to view GFI Goldfields, and that will pull in GFI as the purple line. So I can even change the color if I want to. So let's say I want it to be rather a blue line. Then I can change it to blue. So all you do is you'll see that it's has a setting icon. Right. So on the setting icon, you can change it to whatever the color line you want. Let's say black, but I want it a little bit thicker. Save, and that will pull in the comparison over your main chart. If you want to remove the comparison from your main chart, click on the X next to the setting, and that will remove it and bring back your normal chart. Then you can also select your date range. So before we get to the date range, you'll see that at the bottom left hand corner, you've also got date ranges. So you've got 1 month, so that will give you the last month's data, 3 months, 6 months, year to date. So from the beginning of the year, so there's a difference between 1 year and year to date. So year to date is from the beginning of the year up until now, where 1 year will give you entire year's worth of data. Same with 2 years, 5 years, and max. All right, so max will obviously pull in the entire charting since basically the beginning of the chart when they started. Okay, so usually I work with year to date or with year. All right, so depends on which one you want to work with. Then you can also at the top there, you can see it says date range. So you can also select a range between what month to what month you want to pull in data. So let's say I want to pull in data from June up until currently, right? So let's say the 1st of June up until current, click on apply, and that will pull in from June the 1st up until current. Okay, so you can select your date range data that you want to view. Okay, if you want it back to let's say year to date, just click on it and it will pull in that data again. All right, so you can, as I said, you can change the date to whatever you want it. Then you can also change the range, right? So the data range. So let's say 1 day. So every day is 1 candle, or you can go to 1 week. So every candle will be a weekly candle, or you can change it to 1 month. So every candle then will be then a monthly candle. All right, so it depends on what data you want to look at. So the two that we primarily use is daily chart or weekly chart. All right, so daily chart is the one that I prefer to use. Then you can also change your candles from candles to line, or from candles to hollow, or to sticks. So if I don't want to view a candle chart, if you're not used to using candles, you can always go to line, change it to a line chart. Let's say you want this color to be another color. You don't like the blue. It's a little bit too light for you. Then next to the setting, because you've changed it to line, click on that setting. You can make it thicker, let's say 2 times the thickness, but I want it black. Save, and that will give me a black line then. Okay, and then also on top of that, then you can go and add your indicators. So if you go to indicators, this is where you'll find stuff like your RSI, your stochastic, your MACD, your volume, your Williams R. So you'll find all your indicators, you'll find underneath indicators. So if I, let's say, want to add RSI, then I go to relative strength index, RSI, and then you'll see that will give you all the settings for it. So period is currently on 14, but we usually use a 3. And then you'll see that it's got the SMA. So previously we showed you on the previous charting that you could have add a moving average of 3 days on top of your RSI. This time it is part of the RSI. So you can go and say, right, I want my 3 day, I want my RSI to be black, but I want the signal line to be red. Right, so you can customize like you want, and you can also change the overbought and oversold area colors. So let's say also black, and then you can change, let's say, your overbought oversold areas also, let's say from 80 to 70 and from 20 to 30, depending on how you like your charting, and then save it, and that will pull in your RSI. Now by default, if I want to pull it in as is, I'll quickly show you what it looks like by default. So if I reset the chart, so if you want to reset the chart, there's a reset function now, right? That will reset everything. It will remove your moving averages. It will remove your RSIs, your stochastics, your MACDs, all right? So that will remove everything. So if I go back to indicators and I go say relative strength index, and I just change that to, let's say, 3 and save, that is basically what the RSI will look like. Okay. So you've got your red at the bottom, which is your oversold area, and overbought area is blue at the top. But as I see, you can change this to whatever color you'd like. Okay, so if let's say you put it in, but you didn't change your colors, left hand side there's a setting function. Then you can go and you can change all your colors to whatever colors you would like. That I want red, that's all black, and then I can say save, and that will pull in my RSI. Okay. Then also you can pull in, let's say you also would like a stochastic, you go to stochastic oscillator, and then you change your periods, let's say to a 14-day period with a K period of 3. All right, simple moving average period of 3, and then you can also go and say, right, I want that black, but I want the signal to be red. Same thing, depending on what colors you would like, and then you just say save, and they'll pull in your stochastic. Okay. And then also you can add your moving averages to your main chart. So if you go to indicators, moving average, so if I go to moving average, I can change, let's say, the color first to, let's say, red, because I want to put in a 200-day moving average, or you can make it blue depending on how you'd like it. So period, 200-day, the color, your field, obviously it's going to be close, type simple or exponential depending on how you like it. Save it, and that will pull in your 200-day moving average line. You'll also see that the main chart will have a like orangey line. Now that line basically shows what the current price is. Okay, so this unfortunately you can't go and change. That's by default, that is in. You'll see on the right hand side currently for this share it's on 15.48 Rand. Okay, so that's the current price. All right, for this red line, that would be your moving average, and then the orange line, which it has in, that's the current price line. Okay. You can also go and draw lines. So if you want to draw, let's say, your vertical lines or your horizontal lines, you just click on draw, and you can go and change it to whatever you would like to draw. So there's a plus icon, so you click on draw, plus icon. Let's say I want to draw a line, click on line, and I would like it to be a black line, and then just do this. I'm just gonna have to do a reset. Sorry for that. I think I'm working a little bit too fast for it. So let's try this again. So draw line, make it black line. I want a line. Now I do 2 clicks. So that was 1 click, and I do a second click. All right, if I want to move it, I can move it to wherever I want it, and I can even move the angle to where I want the angle to be. So to draw in a line, it's 1, 2 clicks. If you want to remove a line, you can either remove all lines by clicking on clear, or you can click on the eraser and then on the line, and that will remove the line for you. And just remember to click on the eraser again, so the eraser is gone, so you don't by accident remove your line that you put in. Or if you want to put in a horizontal line, that's 1 click. So if I go to horizontal, I want to pull in support and resistance, then I can pull in my support line and my resistance lines wherever I want to put in my support and my resistance lines. Okay, as I said, if you want to remove them, click on the eraser and click on the line itself, and that will remove the line that you drew. Okay, so all your previous lines that you could draw in with the previous charting is also here, and you can also put in labels. So it's not called annotation anymore, it's called label. So if I click on label, that's your text. You can click, and then if I say test, save, then my test will be available on my chart. All right, so you can put in labels as well. Okay, if I want to remove everything, just click on clear, and that will remove everything for me. Then also another nice feature is the tooltip, where currently you'll see that on the left hand side will show you open, your high, your low, your close. All right, so if I go to tooltip, click on tooltip, now you'll see that it will show the same in the little block for that day. So if I hover my mouse over the current, it will show you the date, which is the 13th of the 11th, the opening price, the highest price, lowest price, closing, and also the volume, where volume isn't available at the top left hand corner, but volume will be available on the tooltip. Okay, if you don't want to see the tooltip, just click on tooltip and it will take it away. All right, grid lines, also if you like the idea of having grid lines, you can just click on grid lines and that will bring back your grid lines. If you don't want the grid lines, just click on it and that will take away the grid lines. Okay, so obviously if you choose the black background, then some of your colors you might need to change. Like for instance, if you look at RSI, okay, you'll see that RSI and stochastic, you'll see that those 2 lines need to change, the black lines. So what we do is we can go and change that to, let's say, a white. Okay, just remember to change all the fields that's black to white. Save, and then you'll see now it's white. Same with your stochastic. So you'll just basically just revert the colors to another color, which you'll be able to see on the chart. Okay, and then also your grid lines, when you click on grid lines, that will add it also as a grayish grid line. Okay, and then if you want to reset everything, just click on, as I said, click on reset, and that will reset everything back to default except for your grid lines. All right, that you need to turn off depending on how you would like it. Okay, so that's it for the new charting. Very simple, very easy to use. There are still some updates, small updates in between that is going to come with the new charting, but if you've got any suggestions for the new charting, you're more than welcome to send us an email to info@sharetrackin.com or support@sharetrackin.com, and then we will send that through to the development team, and they will look at putting in your suggestions. All right, so anything that you would like to be added, or if there's something that you would like us to change, then you are more than welcome to send through suggestions, and we will try and put that in. This is basically now your tool, and we are trying to accompany all clients with what they need in charting. So I hope to see you guys for the next training session, and I hope you have a wonderful evening further.